Do you think that Trump is going against our Constitution on the deportation?
I think that there needs to be due process.
Are you familiar? I'm just curious. Are you familiar with how it works, like the whole process?
I mean, I can admittedly say I probably am not like well versed in it, but I'm like
can I tell you a little bit about it?
I mean, enlighten me for sure.
Okay, so immigration court. It was founded back in 1889, and a lot of it, and throughout history, there is different court cases, not just the 1889 case, but throughout history, there's a lot of court cases that do talk about immigration. But originally, it was the original founding of it was because of a lot of these Chinese nationalists were coming over into the country, and it was a national security threat. So that's kind of just a little bit about the history and how it got here. But originally, how they structured it, so they actually have immigration court, and it's not under the judicial branch, it's under the executive branch, and it's head by the attorney general. And so, but there's also, which immigration court, they deal with the people that have overstayed their visas, people that, have been here for more than 2 years illegally, are not criminals. They're just people that have established here, that they just caught over 2 years. They go through children. Children are another example of people that go through the immigration court. It's a little bit different than our judicial, but actually a lot different. So when you talk about due process, which is under our Fifth Amendment, it's not actually fully the type of due process that you would think. Immigration court's completely different. Now, there's this thing called expedited removal, and that's kind of what Trump's really been focusing on. And of course, he's catching people within doing this expedited removal. They're not just going to ignore it because they have to follow the law. They are catching other people when they look for these certain people. They're looking for, that's why he always says we're looking for the criminals. We're looking for the people so they can do expedited removal, meaning that you actually don't go through immigration court. What ends up happening is if you're a criminal, automatic deportation, which is not actually, it's a civil case, so it's not a criminal case, so they don't consider deportation as an actual crime. And then if you came over the border once and then been deported and then come back again, that qualifies for expedited removal. Cases like that are pretty much and that's actually what Trump's been focusing on, because we don't have the power to deport 25 million illegal immigrants, so we're focusing on obviously the highest priority, but then you can also see, people get mixed in that when they're looking for someone, and then they go through the immigration court. But it's interesting to know that true immigration court is very different, so they don't automatically get an attorney assigned to them. They have to pay for their own attorney. And then you actually don't if they do rule on something in immigration court, the attorney general actually has the authority to decide what they can and can't do. They can actually overturn those decisions because it's all under the executive branch. But that is going off of Congress's legislative authority that was granted under these immigration processes that were established by court cases, by legislation, by everything over the years. So when people say, they're not having due process, I mean, everything they're doing is 100% constitutional. And so that's, they're doing it correctly. And there's nothing illegal about what they're doing.